What thought went on to your head to decide, wait, I actually need to get paid instead of getting free stuff?
Yeah, I really wanted to live in Amsterdam and it's so expensive there.
I know.
Yep, so I was like, okay, I need to get like paid for this stuff. And I knew that it was possible, so yeah.
In that way, you just ask for money instead of stuff.
Yes. So yeah, we've been working there for 5 weeks and it was amazing. I met so many people and it was such a different life than I have now. I still went to the gym every day.
Serious?
Yes, every day.
In an environment where everyone is drinking, getting fucked, getting wasted, you still thought, let's go, I still need to go to the... Impressive.
Yeah,
that's
and
cool.
I think I've been drinking alcohol for like maybe 5 times in 5 weeks. Well, that's impressive also there.
Yeah, because there it's the standard to like wake up and get a beer.
Yeah.
Or a cocktail or something. If there's one thing if you want to say to someone who is still there, what is that you want to say?
There's always a way to fulfill your dreams.
Did you wrote that somewhere? Or?
I don't know. I can show you.
It's like,
you don't really see it. I don't know.
It's
like on my back. It's my tattoo. There's always a way to fulfill your dreams. But I really do believe that. There's always a way. You just have to find out how.
All right. From selling fake lashes at the age of 14 to dancing on Star Beach and now having multiple partnerships. She worked with brands like Nike, Bjorn Borg, Blaze, and now is ambassador of Hyrux. Manon struggled with eating disorders and sport obsessions, but listen and see what all of this brought her in this fantastic, cool journey that you can learn a shit ton from.
Yes!
Yes! Let's get it, let's dive into it. Because at the start, like, most people are born and raised in a nice little family, and you are born and raised in your own nice little family, of course. Mm-hmm. But there was something unusual there.
Yes, when I was born, my mother got like, she has a background in, hoe zeg je, psychiatrisch?
Psyche something diseases. I cannot pronounce it.
I said like mental. Okay.
Good start.
Yeah. So when I was born, my mom was mental sick, and she got like her first psychos. I don't know if I say it right, but never mind. When she was 18, and also when I was born. So that meant that I wasn't with her like in the first couple of weeks. When I was born, and when I was a child, I never really thought there was something with her. I didn't notice anything until I was 12, I think. Then she also got really sick again and went to the hospital. I learned like a lot from that. After when I was 12, it happened like multiple times. So also when I was 20, 21, something like that. And then my father was also into a burnout.
Yeah, we'll dive into that part later.
Yeah, so there were multiple times. So that's maybe nice to know about my background. But it also really made me who I am right now, because always the communication was really good with my parents. We talked openly about everything. So my parents are also still together. I think that's also really special.
But what did you learn from that? Because in most situations, it's not that usual that your mom has a psychiatrical disease. Fucking hate that word.
I understand.
But what did you learn from that? Because you said you learned a lot from that.
Yeah, I think love for each other. We all talk to each other, and even that when my mom, she wasn't like herself, and she did things she wouldn't do if she was herself. Those things, they make you upset, especially she wasn't nice to my dad at all. But because we knew she was sick and we repeated that in our minds, and we communicate with each other, like, how do you feel? And I think because we had like such good communication with like the whole family, in times when it was bad, but also in times when it was okay, because it also gives you a kind of a trauma. And it was always, we can always talk about things like that, but also like other things. And we were never fighting in our family when my mom wasn't sick, actually, because we had such good communication. And I think that really made like our family really strong.
Yeah, because for the people who don't know, like if you have a psychosis, you are really high in your emotions, you're really low in your lows are like really low and your highs are like really high. You can start crying out all of a sudden. You can like the most crazy shit you can do, because that's what the disease does to your head. That's why it's a mental disease. And you got through that within your whole family situation by just having the clear communication, by just talking openly about it. And when your mom has such a thing, you maybe talk to your dad a bit, or how does that work? Like,
it was every time it was really different when my mom got like a phase like that, because we also not were always agreeing with like the doctors and stuff, but
how come?
Yeah, because the doctors are really into giving her medicines. But I think, look, now she is addicted to the medicines. Now she can't live without anymore because she already has been using it since she was 18. But I think maybe when if the doctors were more focusing on like her lifestyle and getting better without medicine, that she could live without medicine right now. The thing was really like my mom didn't know who she was without her medicine, and that was for her also the reason to try to quit with the medicine, and then it was usually a point where she got sick again. But I totally understand that she wanted to know who am I without a medicine, because the medicine does a lot to your body and to your mental state and everything. But because she was on the drugs, basically, from her 18th, she couldn't.
It's the same with children who have ADHD and take Ritalin or something, that it slows down their development in a certain way because you become a different person because of the medicine, and because your mom was on the medicine since she was 18 years old until like having you and everything. That's a long period of time.
Yeah.
What are some things, because at some point when you were 14, you started your whole entrepreneurial journey with such a movement in the youth. What made you start though?
What made my start? I don't know. Actually, such a long time ago.
Because you were selling fake eyelashes?
Yeah, I was selling fake eyelashes. I bought them on AliExpress, and then I made my own logo. Made my own logo. I created my own logo, and then I was just selling it through Instagram, through my friends, and yeah.
And then you just did cold outreach, or you created a page, or what?
I created a page and I posted it on Facebook and on Instagram, and it was just like going with the flow, nothing too crazy. I was 14. But it was nice to do.
For how long did you do it?
Ooh, I think 1 year and a half, something like that.
1 year and a half, so...
Or maybe 2, I don't know actually.
Until you're 16 or something,
Yeah, something.
Selling fake eyelashes. And then at 17, you got a new obsession.
Yes, I got into strength training, and then I saw, okay, I want to have like these supplements because it also helps me gaining weight and muscle. But also more people around me were getting into like fitness and stuff. But the protein and like the flavor drops which I used, you just could get it with a credit card from Germany. And it was like also the shipment was pretty long. So I was like, okay, let me buy like a tons of things, and then I resell it basically.
to everyone who wanted the flavor drops and the protein.
Yep.
But you started in fitness at 17 because you want to lose weight, right?
Yes, at first I wanted to lose weight. So I did like a lot of high intensity kind of things. And after I got like an eating disorder because I used to be like a bigger girl. And then at one point I was like, okay, I don't want this anymore. And I started to cut down my calories and I stopped eating carbs. And at one point I started to calculate my calories and I was like on 500 calories a day because I didn't even knew about like, your daily intake, what your body needs to actually like do things. So yeah, I was on 500 calories a day and I also burned it through like high intensity stuff and 10K steps a day. But my body didn't really like that.
How come? How weird, 500 calories a day.
I know. So at one point I was like crying and I remember sitting in a car and telling my mom like, Mom, I just don't have energy anymore and I don't know what to do. And she was like, yeah, I already thought it's not going really well because, I ate like so less. And then we called the doctor, but he was on vacation for 2 weeks and I really needed help at that point. So she also knew a cousin who also struggled with an eating disorder. So I started talking with her. And after that, I went to another nutritionist, dietetics, and she told me to go from 500 calories a day to 21 to 2000, something like that. And I was like, I can't do that like in one day. That's way too much. So time flies, and then I came to another person to help me, and she did an exercise with me, and she told me to put like Mrs. Anorexia in my head, to put her like away, to throw her from the mountains, and that actually really helped. So there was like more space in my head, and I was like, okay, I'm going to eat more. It's going to help me. It's going to give me more energy, and from that point, I just increased my calories by 100. Each day, practically, so something like that.
Baby steps.
Yeah, but that actually went too slow. So I needed to have like drinks with lots of calorie. Otherwise, I needed to go to the hospital. I was like, okay, I don't want that. So I drank like nutrition drinks for, I think they were around 500 calories each. So
for one drink.
Yeah. So that really helped me gain.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but that really helped me gain, and I really needed that because I didn't dare to eat more.
And from the start, like from the moment you started losing weight till the moment you started building the eating disorder, you captured everything on social media, right?
Yes. So, but not like my physique, because I started with posting my food, and when I felt stronger, I started to post also my physique. So I think when I was doing strength training for around 2-3 months, I started to upload also my gym photos and videos.
And you're still doing that until today? From 17 until today?
Yes.
Still uploading all the videos?
But I think like the fitness things was like when I was 18. Yeah.
Because when you was 18, you already talked a bit about it. You started selling the women's protein, right?
Yeah.
And that was because, how did you get that credit card?
Daddy. Thanks, Dad.
It was just like, Dad, I want to buy this shit and sell it.
Actually, it was more like it's going to help me, as in like I needed to gain weight. And I was like, I need this protein also to gain weight. So and that was the reason why I could get it. But also like for the other things, I pay them back, of course, and then I resell it. Yeah.
And you also did that through the same Instagram that you posted everything on.
Yeah.
The whole thing. Because how many followers did you have then, back then?
I think maybe 1,000.
So now you're at 16, 17K, 16.
Yeah.
And then with 1,000 followers, you just started selling protein powders and
Yeah.
how did it go?
Yeah, it went okay. Mostly friends, but it was all okay. I mean, like, I never really wanted to have like a really big thing, because I also needed to bring the products by myself to the people. So I usually did that just by with friends and people in the same city.
And then at 19, there became a new obsession. It comes in phases of obsession in your life so far.
Yes. So yeah, I needed to start with. I started with strength training because I needed to gain weight, and it was the most safe way to do that, because I didn't want to add body fat actually. So then I started my training obsession, and I actually never really felt like an obsession to me, because I really liked it, and I also like to help people. But at one point I was like, okay, wait, but what am I without this fitness, nutrition, everything? Because before all this, I didn't even like sports. I wasn't good at it, and I didn't like it. So I was like, I felt like I lost myself. So yeah.
But how was it to really dive into that obsession at 19 years old? Well, it was not an obsession for you because you just really liked it. But what did you do?
Well, for me, it was like at least training every day. And at one point I came, okay, maybe I need to have a rest day. Also, I saw that at social media, rest day is important, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, okay, sure, let's do a rest day. I also did my internship at a gym. And then it was Corona, but I still did all my trainings. And I also really wanted to do my internship at this gym, because what if I take an internship where I have to sit all day? And with this gym, I knew, okay, I can move around because it's a gym. And then I will burn calories, and otherwise I'm going to sit down the whole day, and then I can't move. So maybe I will start gaining fat again, and that was really where I was scared of.
How was that? The consistent thought in your mind of, I don't want to become fat again, I don't want to become fat again. Like,
exhausting. Yeah, really exhausting. But I also really I was like, okay, this is good for my body to move. And it is, but not with this little voice in your head like, okay, you're going to be fat, you know? Yeah.
How did you wake up? Like, was it just like waking up and like, okay, I need to do something because of, was it like some kind of an anxiety in your head, or like how does that work for you?
I think there was one point where I was working at a gym in Amsterdam, and I stopped with my minor at that point, and I got more free time, and I was like, okay, now I can train twice a day, because when I have more free time, I will get leaner. And I was constantly obsessed with getting a good physique also. And then at one point I was like, okay, maybe this is not that healthy, because I was giving fitness classes to people, training twice a day, and my mind was constantly, okay, I need to move, I need to train, I need to do something with my body. So I was like, okay, I don't know, I'm not sure how I'm going to fix this, but it has been like sitting there for a while. And then at one point I went on a holiday by myself to Mexico.
And that came later, right? Because
so there's 3 years where I was like obsessed with
But then before we dive into that holiday, I'm still quite curious though, because I can imagine, like, you look really healthy and really fit right now, but I can imagine that you looked really healthy and really fit back then as well.
Yes, even more. I mean, like, I was shredded. Yeah.
Was there some kind of insecurity in your head, or was there like, how did you deal with that? Because you were shredded, you can see it in the mirror, like the mirror does not lie to you there. But
I don't know. I I was quite happy, but I was with the way I looked, but I was scared to lose that. I think that was the biggest point. And also because of me doing like the social media thing and showing everyone on social media, how you do fitness and stuff, I felt the pressure to look this way. So yeah.
How do you think, because eventually you found a way to deal with that, but that's what we're going to dive into later. But how do you think right now a lot of people see, well, people like you, for example, on social media and other people on social media, but what's the personal dark side to that?
I think a lot of people are obsessed with training and moving their body like I did. But yeah, you don't really see that. And I think that's hard because a lot of you actually, you don't really see that thing what's in your head. So yeah, is that
and what
answering your question?
Do you want to say to the people who see all of those people online? And
yeah, what do I want to say to the people? I think just keep in mind that you don't know how someone is feeling mentally.
how were you feeling at the time?
I was pretty okay.
Not sound really convincing there.
No, yeah, I mean, I was feeling okay, but I really I was living a life which I thought I really wanted, but it was actually too far away from who I really was. And yeah, you can hold that for a while, but at one point it just, the connection between my head and my body and my heart, it was gone. So I also had like a period, for example, where I couldn't cry anymore because I just didn't feel anything. I was a robot. I felt like I was a robot.
How did your surroundings react to that? Did they knew?
No, I mean, at that point I lived on my own. I mean, like with 3 guys in an apartment. And yeah, they didn't really knew me before. So yeah, also everyone around me was kind of new. And my parents, yeah, they were always lovely. And always my mom was, okay, aren't you doing too much? I was like, no, it's fine. But the thing is, currently I'm training maybe more than back then, but my mental state is way more healthy, and that's just something you don't see from the outside. So that's making so complicated. Yeah.
Can imagine, but at some point, because when you're 19, we're still in that phase here. We're just diving deep into that because I think it's a really interesting phase in your life where you were obsessed with your health in a way that was not even that healthy anymore. Funny paradox, but obsessed in a way with your health that was not even that healthy anymore. But like physically, you were healthy, but mentally, you were disconnected from your own body. There, still dealing with the voice in your head that said, "You cannot become fat. You cannot become fat." Maybe some kind of insecurity underneath that. But that was also the point where you got your first like collabs and sponsor deals and everything. Like, how did that maneuver into everything that you did? Because that's maybe the start of all the businesses and things that you do today.
Yeah. Well, what was your exact question?
Like, how did you maneuver all the sponsorships and everything that came along back then? While you're in that stage.
Yeah, well, I try to ignore the state. I mean, like, I was like, okay, this is just how it is. I just have to continue this physique, and then everything will be fine. Because also, like, the sponsorships and the collaborations, they came to me when I had like that physique. So I wasn't like paying attention to the thoughts in my head. It never really felt like that. I knew that it was there, but it was really deep inside of me. And by the way I acted, I knew that it was there, but it wasn't like I really heard that voice. But I knew it was there because that was the reason why I acted this way. You understand what I mean?
Not really.
Okay, so that voice where you're talking about, I didn't really hear that voice. It was not so much on the it was a lot on the background. But I knew that deep inside me, like that voice is there. So the reason why I did things was because of that voice deep inside me somewhere. But because of me liking, like going to the gym, teaching people things, it was all okay. You know what I mean now?
Yeah, because like you liked what you're doing,
Yes.
and that made it easier to ignore the voice in the background.
Yes.
That said, hey, Manon, hey, it's not healthy.
Yeah, I mean, like also the voice who said like, okay, you have to be active to not gain fat. That was somewhere, but above that was like, okay, you like to motivate people. Okay, you like to teach people things. You like to work out, because I did like it. You like to create content about it. You like to inspire people on social media. So everything of the good things was above that voice, what was like negative. So that was the reason for me that it felt easy and okay. So there was no reason for me to dive into that little negative point, because all the good was above that.
And if people are in that phase right now, for example, that all the good things are there because all those good things and the hard work that you put in back then shaped you into the person that you are right now because of the skill sets and the things that you build over time. But if someone has that small voice there and does not really know that it's there, but unconsciously or maybe a bit consciously know that it's there, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What would you recommend them to do based on your own experiences right now?
Write things down. I have been like writing things down for such a long time, but also, okay, this happens and then I react on this way, and then just write it down and see what's happening and try to dive into your own feelings and your thoughts. But also with this voice, and also try to, okay, I notice it, because at one point I noticed it and I was like, okay, but how can I first, okay, I know that this is here. Try to make your actions different. So not like maybe stop completely. I mean, for me it was also, okay, and now I'm training twice a day. I don't think that's really necessary. So I stopped with that. And then when I really found the time and the rest to think deeper and to accept the fact that I do the things because of that inner voice, I was like, okay, what if I try to not listen to that voice, and all the good things I gain from that, will that still stand? I was like, okay, so for example, I will not train for 1 week. Can I still motivate people on social media? Of course, because after that, I probably will do maybe something else. I don't know. If I don't feel like going to the gym anymore, I will find something else. Motivate people also with maybe something else. It's fine. It's okay if things change. So I was like, if people following me just because of me doing like this fitness things, and not because they want to follow me, that's okay. If I want to choose like another path, and people who are following me because of me, then they will still follow me. And I was like, okay, I don't have to be that scared to change, because I'm really young. And if I will stick to this fitness thing for now and maybe my whole life, but I don't want that actually anymore, why should I do that? Because my own luck and happiness is way more important to me than the business I've been building around it.
So then you broke that through writing things down.
Yeah.
You broke out of your own built cage.
Yes.
In that way.
Yeah, that's nice that you say that way. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
But how did you deal with the first collapse? Like because that was in the same phase. Like I think after that we can dive into Mexico. maybe Star Beach between, but but like, how did that go with the first collabs and everything?
At first, I was like, okay, I'm not going to do collaborations because I didn't want to, have my Instagram page as like a promotion platform. But at one point, I was like, okay, maybe I will also grow with collaborations. And then I started to do barter deals. That's where you get like a product, for example, and I create a content piece for them. And then that grew actually, and then pretty fast Hypro came to me. That's from Danone. Danone's worldwide, and they have like protein yogurt. And yeah, that was one of my biggest, my first biggest partnerships. Also, Lay's came to me quite quick, and they both did like, Hypro did like a point system, and then you could get like a voucher and get like, for example, a camera or a bike or that kind of things to grow your social media page or your sports. And for Lay's, I got paid. And then I was like at a point, okay, let me create like a media kit. So I was searching, okay, how do other people do this? I was watching lots of YouTube, listen to podcasts, everything. And I created my own media kit. And then when a brand came to me, I just sent it my media kit, and yeah, we made a paid deal, basically.
So at some point you grew from barter deals to point systems.
Yeah.
For vouchers and everything, which for a business is quite cheap because they can get discounts on the vouchers and everything. But that's what you know now. But to actually getting paid, what made you? What thought went on to your head to decide? Wait, I actually need to get paid instead of getting free stuff.
Yeah, I really wanted to live in Amsterdam, and it's so expensive there.
I know.
Yep. So I was like, okay, I need to get like paid for this stuff, and I knew that it was possible. So yeah.
In that way, you just ask for money instead of stuff.
Yes.
How was the first transition to that? Like, people came to you with a barter deal, and you're just like, nope, I just want money.
Yeah, and well, I'm not straight, but it was more like, thank you so much for the offer. This is my media kit. You can also see my prices there. Just ignoring the fact that they want to do a barter deal. And then, yeah, they usually, it really depends on what kind of brand it is, because small brands, they just do barter deals. And I still sometimes do barter deals, but it really depends what kind of brand it is. For example, for restaurants, I'm happy to do a barter deal. I'm fine. I mean, I'm just telling them, okay, I'm doing 3 stories, and then I can just get free food. I also did it with Nigarita.
Really?
Yeah.
Nigarita, for the people who don't know, like, we're in Bali, and we're at a co-working where I spend most of my time. But there's a really nice place here. It's called Nigarita, and I come there literally every day. And you just did a deal with them, like, hey, I post something, you give me free food.
Yes, it works.
Nice.
It works.
The owner is really nice.
Yeah,
really nice
I
guy
agree.
with a really cute dog.
Yeah.
So for the people who come to Bali, Nigarita, good place, nice owner with a good dog.
Yeah.
A good, small, cute dog.
Oh, I love it.
So then you just send it like your how did you call it?
Media kit.
Media kit. And you learned that through YouTube to
Yes.
have a media kit.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, but like, I come from a sales background. So my first reaction is, okay, get them on a call.
Yeah, it really depends. I did a lot of calls with brands, but if they are from earlier, it really depends. Some brands have already a campaign written down, and then it's just like, okay, follow this campaign, follow this script, and post something. Some brands really want to go for a long-term collaboration, then usually I do a call. But when it's just like a campaign thing, then we just do, then they all have been already written down. And if it's like a smaller brand, then usually they just want to have like brand awareness, and then everything I do is basically okay.
And it's just like, post my stuff and I'm happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But then when you're 21, or
Yeah.
roughly 21, 20, around that age, you were still living at home. Was before you moved to Amsterdam?
No, I already moved to
You
Amsterdam.
already moved to Amsterdam, but the situation got quite rough at your home situation.
No, that was
Remember?
when I still lived at my parents' house. So I was it was when was I 20? Yeah, 19, 20, yeah, something like that.
Something.
Yeah, around Corona
COVID.
period. Yeah. So that was with my parents. My mom got mental sick again, and my dad got burnout. And then at one point, I really felt like I need to get out of here, together with my sister. And it was summer, and we were like, okay, we really want to go on a holiday, because that year before, I think the year before, we didn't. Or I mean, okay. Normally, with my parents, we go on vacations like 6 times a year at least. So we were really travelers, and then Corona came, and we were like feeling stuck. And my mom was sick, my dad had like burnout, and I was homeschooled. I mean, I did my school at home, so we really wanted to get out. So we booked we wanted to work at Mallorca. And before that, we really wanted to go to Hyrux in Crete. And we came there because we wanted to visit our friends for 10 days. And then one girl, she told us, I have my dancers here. And they dance at Star Beach, that's a beach club. But all my dancers are gone. And I like you two girls. Do you want to work for me? And we were like, but we can't dance. She's like, we'll be fine. Just some glitter and nice outfits. And we'll be fine. We're like, okay, skip Mallorca and we're going to stay here. So we've been working there for 5 weeks. And it was amazing. I met so many people, and it was such a different life than I have now. I still went to the gym every day.
Serious?
Yes, every day.
in an environment where everyone is drinking, getting fucked, getting wasted, you still thought, let's go, I still need to go to the... Impressive.
Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
I think I've been drinking alcohol for like maybe 5 times in 5 weeks. Well, that's impressive also there.
Yeah, because there it's the standard to like wake up and get a beer.
Yeah.
Or a cocktail or something.
Yeah.
So you were like really... How did you manage? Because it's like...
Yeah.
For the people in America, it's like spring break where everyone goes out and get shit-faced. And I think all the other ones, when you go to Ibiza, Mallorca, it's like such kind of place, only then in Croatia? Greece?
No,
Greece.
Greece, yeah.
Greece. A lot of Dutch people there.
Yeah.
Like it's like, in summer it becomes like a small island of the Netherlands. But
Yeah. So I think I woke up around 11, 12, and then I went to the gym, did my session for 1 hour, and then I started at work around 2. So,
But you did not drink. How did you manage that? Because there's a lot of people flirting with you because you're like...
I have a good, like, flowing energy.
Yeah, but you're there to entertain people, to dance and everything. Like, how did you manage? Because there's a shit ton of drunk people flirting with you while you're still, like, trying to be healthy and not even drinking that much, like 5 times in 5 weeks. That's in such a place. How do you manage that? What went on in your head?
I don't know. I don't know, actually. I just really liked like the moment, and you have to the thing is good to know, like before that there was nothing. I mean, like there was COVID and everything was so boring. So I think I saved all my energy, and then I just enjoyed every moment there because everything before was so boring.
So just get high off the thrill of it.
Yes.
And then at some point you came back, and then same old, still doing the fitness stuff, still doing the influencer stuff, still getting the deals. And then you felt lost.
Yeah, well, at one point I was also I quit my study of nutrition and dietetics. I got like I needed to do a minor, and I started one, and I didn't really like it, and then I started another one, and I was like, what am I doing? I finished my 2 first years of my study, and I basically learned everything I wanted to know. So I needed to do like 2 more years. But if I wanted to have like the title of a dietetic, then I needed to focus more on like the hospital kind of things, and I felt more like the lifestyle kind of things. But I was like, okay, so if I want to do lifestyle coaching, which I already did for my own, then I don't get a title dietetics, like a dietetic. And I was like, it doesn't make any sense to finish all this then. Or I needed to go like more into the hospital side, and I didn't really like that. And I needed to get a new internship also at a similar company that I had for my own. So I was like, yeah, but then I'm going to work for free as a lifestyle coach, but I also have my own company. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so you started to study for something that you already was.
Yes, I mean, like I learned a lot during the study, but during that study, I also built my lifestyle coaching business. So at that point, after 2 years, I had like a steady lifestyle coaching business, but then I needed to get an internship, and I was like, yeah, but now I'm not going to work for someone else. That felt just weird.
Did you ever work for someone else though?
Yes.
because you did like your eyelashes, you did like selling proteins, sponsored deals came at you when you were 19. During your study, you already had the life coach. Did you ever work for someone else?
Yes, I started with working in a supermarket when I was 13. So yeah, I've been working there for 5 years. And besides that, I also worked at Thuishaven in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
So
Party place in Amsterdam.
Yeah, in the kitchen, I also really like that. And I did a lot of ZZP. Freelance, thank you. Freelance things. I've been doing like hosting quizzes.
All kinds
a lot.
All kinds of things in between.
Horeca.
Just a hustle.
Yes.
Just a hustle in between while building everything.
Yeah.
And then at 22?
At 22?
You went to Mexico.
Yeah, I went to Mexico on my own. I felt like I really wanted to have a trip on my own. Actually, my sister, she went to Bali on her own, and I was like, okay, I also want to go on a holiday on my own. I did that before, actually, to Egypt, but that was just like really making sure I not get into a burnout. So Mexico was more like a trip for myself. Mentally, I felt okay. And I rented a car, and I drove like from Cancun to like all the way down to Bacalar on my own in Mexico. Everyone's like, are you going to Mexico on your own? Are you sure? I was like, yeah, I can do that.
You're still alive and you're still here, so.
Yeah. So, and then at one point I was running. I really know like exact the moment. I was running in Bacalar, and I was like, I don't feel like running right now, actually. And then I just sat down, and I was thinking, okay, why am I doing all the things I do right now? So I've been writing down everything, and that was actually also a moment where my mom got sick again. And at that point I was in Mexico, and I felt quite good that I wasn't there. And that was because of when your mom is sick and you're like living in the same house, then sometimes it's hard to really be there for her, because you also feel like all the negative things by yourself. So you have to make sure you stay standing by yourself. And now I felt like, I could be there more for her than I needed to be there for myself. So I was actually quite happy that I was in Mexico at the moment. I've been calling a lot with her, and I was so calm with my mind that I could really talk to her, and really I also had the feeling that I connected better to her when I was there. So yeah, that was also really interesting actually. And I also had like a better connection with myself. So I also think that was really nice.
Because you had 1 week in Mexico.
2.
2 weeks. You dare to. You had 2 weeks where you just did nothing.
Yeah, so there's basically the first few days I went to the gym, and every time when I came somewhere, I was like, okay, the first thing I need to find the gym. And it's also nice. I mean, like, I love to see other gyms, and it's really nice. I still love to do that, but it was like so obsessive, and I was like, okay, I need to get rid of this obsession because that doesn't feel healthy.
It was there for 3 years already.
Yeah. It was there already so long. And then at one point I was like, okay, let me just check with myself if I can, how I feel if I don't work out for 1 week. And then it was like, okay, it feels weird. After 2-3 days, it was like, okay, what am I going to do then, you know? And then I was like, okay. After 2-3 days, I was like, okay, I'm still alive. I'm not dying. So, yeah, and then after that week, I was like, okay, I actually maybe would like to go to the gym tomorrow, maybe not. I will see. And then I don't know actually anymore like how many days in a row I skipped the gym, but yeah, it was interesting.
A moment where you could let go of your obsession for the first time.
Yeah.
What did it brought after that?
Well, I really wanted to make this commitment with myself that I don't want to get obsessed with anything anymore, because it's hard, because also a lot of people on Instagram, for example, are like, yes, I got this gym obsession, and people think it's a good thing. An obsession is never a good thing. So I think that if you can manage your obsession and make it like work for you, instead of it has you in there, how do we say that?
The cage.
Yes. Then I think it's going to be much easier. So I don't want to get obsessed with anything anymore, and have like a good and healthy relationship with everything I do. Yeah.
How does that look like for you? Because personally, I'm someone who can get obsessed big time on things. I think it's one of my strengths, but I also think it's one of my weaknesses.
Yeah.
Indeed. But how do you find balance? I hate the word balance.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think people are getting like too much like, okay, I need to achieve this and that, and I think it's harder to get like a good balanced lifestyle. I mean, people are like, okay, no, I have to be focused, I have to be obsessed, I have to be like locked in. But I don't think that's what you need. I mean, of course, focused and being like locked in for a certain amount of time, for example, 3 hours a day when you want to get shit done, yes, of course. But after that, letting it go and making sure that your body not getting that much stress. Because I have been locked in and focusing and trying to do everything as good as possible for 6 years. And after that, I was dead. I was like, oh my God, I didn't take... I mean, of course, I took some rest, but not like enough rest to really rest, to really feel relaxed. And yeah, what I mentioned earlier, I was a robot for such a long time. That's not healthy. I couldn't get to my emotions anymore. And I think especially for a woman, but also for men, it's important to that you can manage like your mind and your heart and your soul connection, that you really also see like, okay, what do I feel right now? I mean, like, I don't lead my whole day through my emotions, but also not through my head. So yeah, I try to find a good balance into that.
How's the journey going so far?
Really good. Yes. I think from the point where I was in Mexico, of course it wasn't like, okay, bam, now I'm fully balanced. But I noticed that I gained some weight, and I was okay with that. And that feeling, I was like, okay, it's fine. I don't care. It's not like it's not like I don't have to, I can feel good when I have some extra weight. It's okay. I mean, like, I'm human. I'm not a robot. And I also did some healing sessions. For example, I did some things with my chakras. I did some things with life. It calls LEAP. It's Life Awakening Energy Process. And that kind of things help me getting me closer to my emotions, but also like writing things down, talking to people, talking with my parents. I mean, actually, yeah, all those things really help me. And I think you're never done with self-development. And that's also a really good thing to keep in mind.
And that all because of one trip in Mexico.
Yeah, I think it's a whole journey. Yeah.
It never stops.
No.
But now you're still creating all the content. Now you're
Yeah.
still doing the brand deals. Now you even get free meals across the street, across the street here. But what skills do you need to learn to do what you do when it comes to content creation, when it comes to UGC, user-generated content, when it comes to ad campaigns, when it comes to networking? Because there's a lot of meta skills that you use right now to live full-time as an influencer with 16K followers, which is for some people not even that much.
Yeah.
But you still had like big brand deals like Nike and Bjorn Borg and everything.
Yeah, I think for me it's really important to build your own brand as a person, your own personal brand. And what makes you unique? I mean, I'm always really personal also on my pages. And besides that, I have like multiple platforms where I am registered. Yes, and then they know where to find me. I think that's important. And also for how I sell basically my content is my sister came to me with like user-generated content, and I saw that also online. And I was like, okay, people sell basically their videos to a company. I can do that too, but I also have a following. So maybe I can just make my prices like, here, this is the price for my user-generated content. But if you want to have like more exposure, for example, on my page, okay, it's fine, but you can pay extra. So yeah, in that way I am selling my content basically.
You're selling your traffic.
Yeah.
The first principle of marketing, traffic. But then you said you have multiple platforms. That's like for the UGC, I just wrote them down because I never heard of them before, but that's for people who create UGC content? Like,
no, these are
like,
mostly influencer platforms. And for UGC, influentials is also for UGC, but the other things are more influencer.
So influencer platforms are like Influential, Incense, and Vamp.
Yeah.
Never heard of that. But that's where you get clients from.
Yes, but I think the majority the majority of the clients are just coming into my DM.
just outreach or email or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
You have something, just curious though, as a marketing's nerd, do you have like an email list or something to keep your lead flow warm or?
No, not really. I do. I have been sending an email to like the most recent collaborations I did before I came to Bali, because I was like, yeah, you can go with me to Bali, blah blah. But no, not really like a newsletter or something. It doesn't make any sense, I think.
No?
I don't know, actually. I never really...
It keeps you top of mind.
Yeah, but I think they usually also follow you on social media. So if you're posting a lot, then it's also...
I don't know, this is your world. I'm just
yeah, I don't really think it's a thing to have like a newsletter as an influencer to your B2B clients. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, just curious, like what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, usually brands have like a marketing, someone on their marketing, and I usually follow their personal Instagram too. So
that's like a golden nugget for every influencer listening right now. Follow the personal accounts of the marketing manager or something, so you can stay top of mind.
Yes. But also because I usually really like the people, because I...
Yeah, sure. That's what I would say. That's what I would say in your position right now as well. And then at some point you also started like a collaboration with Hyrux, though.
Yeah, that was because of Hypro. They were the first sponsor of the event in Amsterdam. So I got a free ticket. They were like, yeah, do you want to join Hyrux? I was like, I don't know what it is, but sure. So I did my first race. I didn't know what it was, but I liked it. And
for the people who don't know what it is, what's Hyrux?
Okay, Hyrux is a fitness race where you run 1 kilometer, then you have the skier 1 kilometer again, and you have like 8 different stations. And after each station, you do the 1K. So you have the skier, sled push, sled pull, burpees, row, lunges. No, wait, I missed one. Wait, skier, sled push, sled pull, burpees, rowing, farmer carries, lunges, and wobbles. You can do it on your own with two people or with 4.
And you did it.
The first time on my own.
How was that?
Yeah, it was quite good. I mean, like, I didn't have any expectations for myself. It was so small. I think there were maybe 1,000 people on one day. So it was not really special. I mean, it was nice, but I was like, yeah, okay.
So in which year did you came in contact with Hyrux for the first time?
Yeah, I think after that race. And then they used my picture to promote the second race. And I was like, yeah, sure. They came to me like, do you want to become an ambassador? I was like, yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
And that's a partnership that's still going on, right?
Yep, it's still going on. And I'm also a Hyrux coach right now. So I did like the foundation and level 1. So there you learn like basically everything about Hyrux and how you can coach and stuff. So also official coach.
Official coach of Hyrux.
Yeah.
So what do you do for Hyrux now?
What I do for Hyrux, I do coach people. I create like content to like show everyone in my who follow me what's Hyrux and what are the techniques and stuff. And on the events itself, I also be a head judge. So then I just make sure that everyone does the burpees right and stuff.
No cheating on it.
For example, there are a lot of cheaters though. Yeah, a lot. There was one guy, and he was really fast. He was the fastest of the men that morning, I think. But his burpees were shit, and I was like, okay, you get a penalty. You have to do 5 meters more. And I was like, no, why are you so into me? Blah blah. I was like, no, you're just going to do 5 more right now. So yeah. But even though he was the fastest.
He still was the fastest, but his burpees were shit.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm curious though, because now you work with Hyrux, You have lots of experiences right now in your pocket. We also had a couple of chats about that before recording the whole podcast. But you have the skill set of creating your own brand. You have the skill set of creating content. You have the skill set of like being your own unique person with every experience that comes along with that, and being really open about your whole journey and everything that's coming on and going on in your life. But like, what skill sets did you need to learn, like negotiating, or what are some of the mistakes within that you made?
The mistakes I've been making, I think I trusted people too easy. And yeah, also with that, for me, it's the hardest part to make good afspraken.
Appointments.
Nee, maar als in goede afspraken maken. Dat je in een contract en zo bijvoorbeeld.
Yeah, like good agreements.
Agreements, thank you. So also to make like good agreements, because usually I'm too kind. I'm like, okay, this will be fine. And then, yeah, someone is like, okay, I'm not going to pay you, for example. I got like lots of clients who didn't pay me. I mean, like, eventually, but there were some clients who were like, no, this or that, and they find a way why they didn't need to pay. I still have a client who needs to pay me a lot of money. I don't think I will get it, and that's a point where I really want to learn more about, okay, but how can I make sure that I get my money? So now we usually do payments in front.
Yeah, and like 50% up front of just everything.
Everything, yeah. But I think I also find it hard to like say that to brands, like, yeah, you're going to pay in front. But I think it's really normal, actually. I mean, when you're buying something, you're also paying in front, right?
Yeah. Like,
so actually, I think it's really weird that we do like the payment after, if you're like content creator.
Yeah, I have the same talks right now with the partnership that's going on, because he got screwed over by a couple of clients, let's say it like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but when you go to the grocery store, you don't say, hey, I'm gonna come back tomorrow when I cook my meal and then I pay, because then I know the quality is good enough and shit. It's not, no, you just pay.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You pay.
Yeah. So.
And maybe like over time, when you have a long-term partnership or whatsoever, for example, my video editor, I always pay my video editor afterwards. But he knows I pay him. We work together for like half a year right now. So maybe I trust him, he trusts me, and he knows he get paid.
Yeah.
And I always say to him, like, if there's any, I always say up front, like, okay, those are the targets, you hit those targets well, you did not hit those targets. And then I calculate the whole payment that because we work with targets, so that's why it's a bit different in payment. If he got all the targets right, I always check in with him, like, okay, do you think this is good? Did we miss anything? And then we always like communicate it well, and then you pay.
Yeah.
And we work together for half a year now almost, so then it's different. But when it comes to content creation, so negotiating terms up front is something you learned.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, I still want to learn more about it because I suck. But yeah, it's getting better. What else? What I have learned?
Why do you say you suck at it?
I really want to believe people are good. But basically they're not. But yeah, sometimes.
You're talking to a sales rep here, so
yeah,
it's like...
yeah, it really depends, of course, but it really depends. But when I start like a new collaboration with someone, I now really do like payments in front. Yeah.
So payments up front. What else did you learn about negotiating?
Don't price yourself down. I don't know if I say that correctly, but like know what you're know what you are worth it. So, yeah.
Know what you're worth? Yeah.
That's.
You said it correctly.
Okay. Know your worth. Okay, whatever. But yeah. So yeah, I think that's it.
How do you know that?
Know also what you're selling, because when I sell my content, I don't sell the sales I generate. I just really sell my content to make sure your brand gets brand awareness and great content around your brand. And I'm not selling sales. I mean, I'm not selling a video which is guaranteed to get you like hundreds of sales. So I want to tell a story around your brand and about my personal brand. And I hope for you that's generating sales, of course, and goodwill, but I'm not a salesperson. So it's really different if you're a salesperson or you're a content creator. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm both. So
Yeah, yeah.
But do you make use of like certain content structures that you say, okay, right now I know need to hook in an audience like this, and then I need to have like some call to action in the end, at least to...
It depends. It really depends also for the brand, because some brands just really want to have like this brand awareness and a nice story around their brand. And some brands really want to have like a strong hook and which is more sales focused. But that just really depends. But when a brand comes to me like, yeah, okay, you can just be creative on your own, then I prefer to really like write a story in a video, for example.
And then it's more about brand awareness than having a strong call to action.
Yeah.
And you communicate that with the brand?
I'm always like, okay, do you want to have like a script in front, or do you just like me to do whatever? Did you have like ads before, and what works, what doesn't work? Do you want me to do something with that or not? So yeah, I always try to get like
the right information to make the client happy.
Yeah.
In that way.
Yeah, and it's also like sometimes it's good to not like get the video too much about the product, for example, or to have like a too strong hook within the product, because some people are more like, okay, now it feels like an advertisement, and then they just scroll away. But if it's like telling a story and then they see a brand, that's also a different type of
Let's not dive into that part, because you have like a million different types of ads and everything. It's really interesting, but maybe that's something for another time. Now I'm really curious though, because you moved out of your apartment in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
You give all your personal belongings back to your parents.
Yeah.
And now you're in Bali. What's next?
Yeah. What's next? I think for now, I feel like I want to have space to see what comes to me. I'm currently working on all my different businesses. For example, we're doing a Hyrux community event here. I'm still doing like my collaborations here for my own Instagram, but also I have a few user-generated content clients. We want to build out our software service, because we're selling a software service, and we now really have been using it for our own businesses because there are 6 or something. And I want to build my coaching again, because I've been quitting my coaching business for I think maybe almost 2 years, because I really want to focus more on my own mental health and stuff. But now I am Hyrux coach since 3 weeks now, I think. I really want to rebuild that again.
Yeah.
So.
Why did you move out of the Netherlands?
Because of the weather. The weather, it just sucks. We came here and I was like, oh, this is so nice. I really want to feel free. And I noticed by myself, for me, feeling free is not have to be aware of wearing a good jacket, a good like pants. I don't like cold, so now I just quick short, just a top, and I can go out of the door and just grab the scooter. And also getting a coffee, which is here around €1, and in Amsterdam 6.
At least.
So
6 is cheap in Amsterdam.
that was the reason where I was like, okay, yeah, this is feeling so good. And also there are a lot of entrepreneurs here. There's a good fitness environment. Everything's just perfect for us. Also for the content, it's really easy because it's never dark. So yeah.
And Bali content.
It's just, I love it.
And people love the Bali content.
Yeah.
Like it's really good for your SEO. It's really good. Like people, I don't know. I just decided to put in all the podcasts that I record here to do Bali edition, just because of the SEO and get more more reach. That's like the thing about you just put Bali there and people are hooked.
Yeah, Bali. Okay, let's go.
Let's go. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Even though it's a nice island, but it's not that special if you're here.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
You know, it's really nice people, a lot of things to do, but it's not
that special.
No, it's just nice.
Yeah.
Just nice. You can surf. You can do. Did you surf?
I tried 3 times, not here, but in the Netherlands and in San Sebastian, in Spain. But I have to take lessons because
No. Okay, cool. It's nice. Surfing is nice. But okay, so now just living here for a longer period of time, or?
Yeah. We actually have no plans. We're going to Thailand in the end of May. Because I'm going to do Hyrux there. And then probably come back. And then we will be here for a longer time. And then I think in September we go back to the Netherlands for 1 week. And then come back.
just to Bali.
Yeah, we will see where we end. Maybe we go to Africa, to Cape Town, maybe to Australia. We'll see.
Because you say you do everything with your sister.
Yeah, I do everything with my sister.
You brought her into your journey, or how did that?
Yeah, she basically came to me at one point. She wanted to do something for herself, also to be a more entrepreneur. And she came to me with a UGC, actually. And I was like, I'm already into content, so maybe we can build something together. And then, we created our own content business where we, basically sell content to companies.
Nice. And you have all the UGC creators inside of your company, so you can sell them, actually.
Also.
Selling people. I thought it was illegal, but you do. Bit of a dark joke, but that's fine. Okay, and if there's one thing you want to say to someone who listened, I don't know, an hour maybe?
I don't know.
No clue. If there's one thing if you want to say to someone who is still there, what is that you want to say?
There's always a way to fulfill your dreams.
Did you wrote that somewhere? Or?
I don't know. I can show you.
It's like,
you don't really see it. I don't know.
It's
like on my back. It's my tattoo. There's always a way to fulfill your dreams. But I really do believe that. There's always a way. You just have to find out how.
All right. Then I want to thank you for being here, sharing your
you.
story. I had a lot of fun, though. It was
Me too.
a really fun conversation. And then I would say, visionaries, like, subscribe, do all that crap. I will leave all your links in the description down below.
Follow me on Instagram.
One of the 3,000 accounts. And I just sent you a message like, hey, what accounts do you want in the description?
Yeah,
and
then you get a list of 12.
And then I just put it all down there. So you can follow Manon and everything she does, because she does an amazing job at it.
Thank you.
Subscribe, like that crap, share this if you think it can help someone, and ciao.
Bye.